Hi, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Davia Chambers, and today we're coming to you from the village of Bonaccord at the Blue Chill Villa. We've got the scoop on some of the most recent events happening across Tobago, and you'll also get a full view of this beautiful property in the next half hour. So we're going to get right to it, starting with this week's headlines. Tobago joins with the world in commemorating Global Money Week 2022. Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Councillor Tashia Burris, encourages women to be advocates of their own empowerment at a recently hosted Tourism Women's Forum. One talented Tobagonian has been inducted into the Trinidad and Tobago Inventors Hall of Fame, and later, the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development introduces its home gardening training courses. We have all these stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us. Global Money Week is an annual global awareness-raising campaign on the importance of ensuring that young people from an early age are financially aware and are gradually acquiring the knowledge, skills, attitudes and behaviors necessary to make sound financial decisions and ultimately achieve financial well-being and financial resilience. In this report, we tell you how Tobago plans to celebrate. Listen up. Money, a much discussed topic for some. For others, it's considered taboo. And in Tobago, the Financial Literacy Secretariat of the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy is working to ensure that this island becomes financially literate, as it has lots of plans to engage young people across the island to make them more aware of financial practices because, simply put, money matters matter.
We usually partner with other member organizations of the National Financial Education Committee, a committee set up in 2018 to push the national financial agenda. And we will be hosting 3 major activities. We will start off with our launch on Monday, and then we will move straight into our Be Money Smart video challenge. The theme for this year's Global Money Week is Build Your Future, Be Smart About Money. So we want to find out from our children, from our secondary school children in particular, how do you feel about money? What do you think about money?
Official says young people must note that their current financial behaviors will influence their future financially.
So that video challenge is us challenging our children to send us a 2-minute video as to give your perspective about money, and to include the phrase my money, my future. We're encouraging them to have fun with it, to be creative, whether they want to use expressions of dance or spoken word, or probably want to do a soca. You decide what medium you want to use to express that message, and there's a number of fantastic prizes to be won.
She adds that a Be Money Smart virtual series will also be hosted.
So we'll be going into our classrooms across Tobago virtually to have that interaction, that direct interaction with them. Again, discussing with them, some of them, their immediate future goals. Most of them planning to go to college, or probably they want to start a job or a small business. So we want to get them in that mind frame of being forward looking and to start to be mindful of the decisions and behaviors they exhibit now, because it can determine how successful they are at achieving those goals.
And parents are also included in the discussions. A Money Talk series encouraging parents to facilitate financial discussions with their children will be carried out. The 10th Global Money Week will take place from March 21st to 27th, 2022. You can keep up to date with the calendar of activities on the Division's Facebook page. The initial round of consultations for the Scarborough redevelopment project concluded recently. Omodara Mills has highlights of what those discussions addressed and what is the way forward. Take a look.
Whether it's the development of the historic area, the construction of housing, or building a civic zone, the proposed redevelopment of Scarborough will mean the relocation of businesses and land acquisition by the Tobago House of Assembly. So holding discussions with landowners in the town of Scarborough will be high on the agenda.
We look forward to have an amicable relationship with the landowners of Scarborough in our drive to redevelop and enhance the city of Scarborough to benefit all Tobagonians.
Residents and landowners, we understand the value of protecting your heritage and thus Your acquaintance with the area of Scarborough could help us identify key elements within the district and advise how it should be protected.
Presenters provided insight on the revision of the land use policy, zoning of Scarborough, and constructing infrastructure that is clean and energy efficient. They also addressed questions like redefining Scarborough's boundaries and the treatment of sewage and wastewater. Secretary of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, Trevor James, addressed callers' concerns regarding the artifacts currently underwater.
We have proposed to build a new museum on the reclaimed land and to lift those wrecks out. That's a critical part of the project. We understand the value of that to us as a historical, Scarborough being a historical site, and that is one of the first projects we will undertake.
Presently, the Scarborough redevelopment proposals are in the infancy stages. As such, the THA's Executive Council have agreed to set up a committee that includes experts and stakeholders from various fields.
This committee will provide a measure of oversight because, to be honest, the division in and of itself should not be the only entity trying to spearhead this movement. And as much as this is a brainchild of Secretary James, it is not Secretary James's project. This is not Trevor's project. This is Tobago's project. It's all our own.
The Scarborough redevelopment project is a long-term one with many phases. Immediate projects that are being looked at include the revamping of the botanical gardens, treating with decommissioned utility lines, demolition of old buildings, and sprucing up the facades of current business places. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Women, powerful, resilient, exceptional. Women continue to break barriers and set new standards. And the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic showed just how women embraced change, especially in the tourism and hospitality sector. This was the main focus of the Women's Forum, hosted by the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities, and Transportation. Here's more. These are some of the women who play an integral role in the island's tourism product. A product that's authentic, immersive, and one that creates a lasting memory in the mind of our visitors. Women in the tourism and hospitality sector were part of the first ever Women's Forum, hosted by the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, themed Women in Tourism and Hospitality, Embracing Resilience and Change.
To break these barriers, therefore, we must begin with introspection as women, and we must seek to be advocates of our own empowerment. Empowered, happy women, purposed women, are a core element of a thriving society. In fact, UN Women, the global champion for gender equality, holds steadfast to the views that increasing educational attainment for women and girls continue to contribute to more inclusive economic growth, and that in countries where more women work, economies do grow.
So how can we ensure women are fully a part of the COVID-19 recovery for the sector? High Commissioner of the United Kingdom to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency Harriet Cross, explains.
I'm talking about the importance of promoting and protecting the human rights of women at all stages of their life. I'm talking about creating cultural change. So that's about challenging and tackling social norms and traditions and gender stereotypes that are harmful. I think that's something that we all need to try and challenge in our lives. And actually this event is one way in which we're doing that.
Other areas addressed were how entrepreneurship can be nurtured by Deborah Sardina and the psychosocial impact on women caused by the COVID-19 pandemic by the Secretary of the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Assemblyman Dr. Faith B. Israel. Women present also learned how they can harness best practices in the cultural and performing arts by Rachel and Pierre Kerr, the role of women in sustainable tourism development by Tanisha Williams, and the display of resilience in tourism and hospitality by Caroline Birchwood James.
You have women who are literally facing the heat in the kitchen to cook for guests. Then you have those who make our local sweets, particularly our world-renowned Bene balls. So it's not an easy job. You have those who do art and craft, like they are out there. Many nights they are. Those who make dresses, like myself. Those who make soaps, all the accessories, all these that we sell to the tourists, long hours of work.
The Women's Forum was hosted in collaboration with the Magdalena Grand Beach and Gulf Resorts. In celebration of World Down Syndrome Day, we bring you part 1 of the series I Am Able, Just Differently. Don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. World Down Syndrome Day is commemorated on March 21st. This year, we're using the occasion to kick off a series that sensitizes you, our audience, about the lives of people who are differently abled, as well as those who advocate on their behalf. In this first episode, Omodara Mills and cameraman David Jacob visited Janet Peters and her son, Jeremy Peters. Now, Jeremy has Down syndrome, but over the years, he's brought a lot of smiles and love to those around him. Janet shares her experience about having a child with Down syndrome. Take a look.
Son, Jeremy Jesinio Peters, with Down syndrome. I'm also an advocate and for persons with disability, but most of all I have a passion to educate parents. I think that came from me not getting all the information I needed to help Jeremy at the time when I needed it. And I know how important early intervention is. So I have a passion for parents so that they could get hold of themselves early so that they would be able to help the child. Physiotherapists, the speech therapists should be early too. The occupational therapists, those 3 I think are the most important 3 that we should have. I always say if I knew then what I knew now, Jeremy would be a much more advanced and he would be able to do many more things despite the disability with his sight also. I remember when he went to Kalisha's prep school up in Candy, she came to me one day and she said, Mrs. Peters, you don't know how your son has changed the environment in the school. She said to me that when he comes in the morning, everybody would rush to bring him in. The children, and they are 2, 3, 4. When he comes in the morning, everybody would rush. Who want to bring him in? Who want to bring him in? And they like to hug and thing. And she said everybody just start to hug and love. And she said he has changed the whole atmosphere in the school with his loving attitude. He has brought love in this family that wasn't there before. There are times when he goes to Special Olympics and he would get this medal. He would get his medal and I'd be so proud. I use him as an awareness program, I should say, because in the past, parents kept their children at home. And I never did that. I used to take him everywhere I go. If you continue to take them out, people would be more aware. So we as the parents supposed to take the children out. You're going to the beach, take your child out with them. You have friends, you call them, you say, we're going to the beach today, they're in this video too. Take them out. Let your friends and family get to know them. So in case of emergency, and you need somebody to say about them, they would have already known them because they have been around them. To me, their brains are just slower than ours. They can learn once we take our time with them, they could learn and get to levels that I shouldn't say the normal, as we call them, child could get to. All they are slower, and I think the scientists say they get to a level of a 15-year-old or something like that. Nowadays, when you could get them early and train them, I think they could go much further than that, because some have been to universities and stuff like that. But you need that early intervention to get them started.
Now, if you didn't like sewing before, I'm almost certain you'll love it now. You'll hear how dazzling it is to use a ruler from the inventor, Rona Jack. Listen up.
This Udazzle fashion ruler is one of a kind. It comprises an L square, hip curve, French curve, and calculator. It is collapsible. Preacher and author Joel Osteen loves to say, every setback is a setup for a comeback. Though she faced minor challenges and setbacks, after 16 years, the Udazzle fashion ruler is here. Rona Jack, inventor of this very unique ruler, says the concept behind this ruler came from her many years of attending sewing classes and having to travel with her traditionally shaped sewing ruler, which caused discomfort. However, this seamstress was determined to come up with a solution to her problem, which in turn caused her to be recognized for her invention. Now here is a ruler to meet the needs of each seamstress, tailor, and those aspiring to get into the field of garment construction.
This ruler was invented 16 years ago, and 2015 I entered the Prime Minister's invention competition and I won special prize. And after then I decided to look for a company to license my invention to. In 7 years, it's now has come to fruition. I created this invention because while going to sewing class, I find the long sewing rulers pose problem when transporting them. So I decided to invent the Udazzle fashion ruler. The concept came from my father's carpentry ruler, the way in which it folds. So I believe that if I use all the components of different rulers and I put them together, also with a calculator, I believe that would have been a perfect tool.
A woman of style and flair, who is usually dazzling her clients with her finished products. It was easy for Rona to come up with the name Udazzle.
The name Udazzle is because I believe in fashion, and fashion is about being glamorous and pretty, and also it's about me always like to motivate others. So I believe I dazzle into people's lives. I leave a statement, I leave a mark.
Rona is testament that hard work truly pays off. However, she is ensuring future inventors to ensure that they get all relevant documentation needed to protect their products.
In the Invention Hall of Fame, it was a wonderful ceremony. It was great, to see that my invention has come to fruition, and I have filed all the patents possible that I can file to protect my invention. Intellectual property rights is vital for anyone who has a product, whether it be invention, innovation, whether it be creativity, it could be a drawing or anything. You need, and even if you're a musician, copyright, intellectual property rights is so important, and that's your selling point. I just want to see that we in Tobago come on board and harness our talent and realize that how important we need to protect our ideas.
Currently, the Udazzle ruler comes at a cost of $450. One can contact Mrs. Jacques for more information at 391-5004. I'm Avian Parks for Let's Talk Tobago.
Over the carnival season, the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation collaborated with the Tobago Festivals Commission Limited and the Tobago Performing Arts Company to host Carnival Tobago, a living museum showcasing elements of the island's vibrant cultural heritage. Let's head now to Fort King George.
I crossed the borders a little too with the great Abyssinian ancestry line.
The Midnight Robber was one of many characters being portrayed in the Living Carnival Museum tour at Fort King George. The tour, dubbed Carnival Tobago, created an opportunity for patrons to learn more about traditional carnival characters while being entertained.
So Carnival Tobago was a historical repository where we used the opportunity to represent the characters and in museum style, where once people come into the space, they come alive and share that history that many of us know, but at times we tend to forget.
The characters took patrons through various stages, exposing them to the history of carnival.
To move from the beginning of the carnival, which was shared by the paper girls, which I'm not sure if many people know is a mass that is indigenous to the Tobago space. We understand that so many of our traditional carnival characters were born out of that barricade experience. And then we move up to what we call the second tier of the barricade, where we presented the Dam Lorraine ball, which is something that is pretty new to the space. And of course, the Jab Malassi, the Molasses Devil, which is a total reflection of the resistance against oppression that our enslaved people would have faced.
The Carnival Tobago tour was on display at the ANR International Airport to give visitors a taste of traditional carnival celebrations, Tobago style.
I wasn't expecting this here today, but it's nice to see the Grenadians out here. Because they're not carnival last year, so we just come to make out, you know.
This is what I miss. I decided to come to Tobago to see, one or two little stuff before I go back.
This is our history, and I think we need to amplify this so people know our history and know why we still do it.
The characters also took to the streets of downtown Scarborough, creating a wave of excitement, bringing part of the island's culture to life.
I'm representing a traditional carnival character. It's called Showboy. It's a part of the speech band. Speech band is an oral tradition right here on the island of Tobago. It's something that our ancestors had passed on, and we are just continuing the tradition. I am wearing a dress covered with newspaper because the paper girl are news carriers. They carry news to the villages, to the communities. They are accompanied with a song which is Scandal, Scandal, and according to the content of the news, they will either say the whole of Tobago or the whole of Scarborough or the whole of whatever village it is.
The educational and entertaining showcase featuring traditional carnival characters, costumes and other carnival displays was an initiative of the division, the Tobago Performing Arts Company and the Tobago Festivals Commission. From the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, I'm Julia James reporting for Let's Talk Tobago.
It is time for a break, but when we return, JCI stands in solidarity regarding violence against women and girls in their latest project. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Junior Chamber International JCI made sure they did not miss out on contributing to International Women's Day 2022. They made sure that their voices were heard through their project Savage. Here's more in this story.
Junior Chamber International, or JCI, is an NGO of young people seeking to foster positive change in themselves and in the lives of other youth. And in commemoration of International Women's Day held annually on March 8th, and this year's theme being Break the Bias, its president, Janelle Makoni-Critchlow, says more women need to be other women's support system.
We provide developmental opportunities that empower young people to create positive change. And we believe that the theme this year, Break the Bias, is so timely that, persons need to just get on board. If you have an idea, just run with it. You want to be that entrepreneur, run with it. You want to start that business, run with it. Don't think about what others has to say. As young leaders coming up, as young women coming up, just go with your ideas. Forget about what others think about you, and let's continue to encourage one another to be young, developing leaders.
The JCI entity came up with a unique way to show support and encourage others to help break the ongoing violence against women and girls using the slogan, Savage.
Savage. Savage stands for Stand Against Violence at Girls Everything. Right, so this project was really conceptualized last year in 2021 when there were, a heightened amount of violent acts against women in Trinidad and Tobago. So it's our annual flagship program, and this year we decided to do it again. The first is where we were encouraging the public to take a red lipstick preferably and put an X on your face. it is a silent protest. So we decided to be quiet about our disapproval about this issue, about violence against women and girls.
Petal Daniel Benoit, JCI Senator and THA Minority Councillor, is also sharing some encouraging words with women in society.
I also want to take the opportunity to make a plea to our young women for us to support each other, for us to uplift each other, for us to motivate each other. There is no need for us to be in competition. We just need to be the support system for other women.
JCI will continue to live up to its mission statement, providing development opportunities that empower young people to create positive change. I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Home Gardening Initiative has never slowed down since it was started 10 years ago. In fact, the unit has grown and provides greater technical support to home gardeners in Tobago. In this next story, Omadara Mills gives an insight into the services offered by the unit and what home gardeners can look forward to in the coming months.
The THA's Home Gardening Initiative was launched in March 2012 with the intent to improve food security, boost the use of homegrown produce, and encourage healthy diets. Technical officers do site visits to home gardens, distribute planting material, and assist mainly seniors in land preparation and building grow boxes. The unit also provides training sessions for home gardeners from April to November. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, the sessions have been done virtually, and this year it's no different. The team will be facilitating topics such as the propagation of ornamentals and growing peppers. Technical Officer Danisha Jones-Williams shared what people thought about last year's training sessions.
Persons were really blown away by the information that they received. They were really grateful for it. They found that it was very informative. A lot of them, first time they knew about certain things, like Mr. Potter Bruno with his All About Herb sessions. Even I and all learned a lot from it as to the benefits of the herbs, and that is one of the topics that we will be repeating for those who weren't able to get into the sessions last year.
The unit's YouTube channel was created last year. It provides information on topics like composting, mulching, weeding, and how to harvest corn and tomatoes.
It is something that is going to always be there so that they could always look at it and they will be able to have that practice. So we are trying to come up with more topics so that they could look at what they should do and what they should not do, because we don't really want home gardeners to utilize too much chemicals or any at all. So most of our sessions are geared towards that cultural practice and to more of along the line of organic farming.
Future YouTube topics include how to prepare your soil and fertilizing crops. It's all about motivating people to see the importance of home gardening.
Home gardening can reduce your spending, so it gives you that level of financial stability. And of course, it allows gardeners to be able to control what they put into their garden. So it gives that healthy diet, because that is what we try to promote as well, right? To give that food and nutrition security. So home gardening actually provides for that, and it gives that level of sustainability as well.
The Home Gardening Initiative is under the Division of Food Production, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development. If you want to register as a home gardener or sign up for the training sessions, which start next month, visit the Home Gardening Initiative's Facebook page. Email homegardeninginitiative@live.com or call 639-4616. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
So we've come to the end of yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information on the Blue Chill Villa, you can call 713-7340. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and enjoyable week. We leave you with a montage of the Blue Chill Villa. Do enjoy.